This will be brief. The director's report, it is provided in the packet a couple days before the meeting. It covers a variety of topics and don't answer any questions on that. And I usually just add a few other updates, so I have a little bit to update on, but I'll obviously field questions on anything. So just an update on the internal review. This is the internal review of materials pursuant to the Children's School and Library Protection Act. As noted at a previous board meeting, I enlisted the expertise of all the librarians of the CLN to expedite this process. And just to clarify once again, a librarian is a professional designation for someone who has acquired a master's degree in librarianship. 93 of the 140 titles currently under internal review have been reviewed. 37 of these titles possess content that has been deemed harmful to minors. 56 of these titles do not possess content that has been deemed harmful to minors. As you may recall, there were 16 titles designated as harmful to minors as a result of requests for relocation, bringing the current total of titles for the mature content collection to 53. Titles that are not designated for the mature content collection may still be moved from the minor collection to the adult collection. This additional review will be handled by the Collection Development Department and the director. To reiterate, items moved to the mature content collection are moved based on a violation of the Children's School and Library Protection Act, whereas items moved from the minor collection to the adult collection are moved based on our material selection and acquisition policy. To reiterate, I just say that because I know I've said this many times before, and I keep saying it despite having said it before. The review of library material is conducted by the director in the Collection Development Department with the aid of CLN librarians as needed. However, there always remains the technical services side of these projects, which includes reprocessing and cataloging of the materials to be moved. Libraries have been around for 5 millennia, so our timeline tends to be our own timeline. I'll just leave it at that. Even though there are 53 titles to be housed in the mature content collection, they will require time in the technical services department. Consequently, if anyone happens to try the door of the mature content collection and finds it locked, there is no need for alarm, since the collection itself is not there yet. Reiterate, any and all items that are being reviewed remain available to patrons through the ILS. And we have consistently filled holds for these items over the entire time, with the exception, as I mentioned once before, back in October, when there was a bit of a oversight during the CLN dissolution, where my technical services department was dedicated to that project, and the items slipped in the ILS from one status to another, making them hidden for a very brief period of time. Not 9 months, but a very brief period of time. And once that was recognized, they were unhidden in the ILS. And hidden isn't the term I would use, but it's the one often used by non-professional librarians. That being said, I'm confident that we will be able to announce to our community that we have completed our review of the collection for minors in May. And I'm grateful for the community feedback about the minor collection that we received during our community needs assessment survey in 2025, because that will help, especially with moving materials from the children's collection to the adult collection. And then a final update on human resources. We have filled 5 open positions, 3 in Rathdrum and 2 in Hayden. And we had over 25 applications for those positions, which I think in and of itself is a great sign of health of the organization. I remember when I first came here, we might get 5 or 6 applications for positions of this sort. And now we're attracting interest throughout the community to work here. And we also promoted 7 internal employees, either in their current capacity or to open and desired positions. That is my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.